It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for BCTV's Nightly News Roundup. I'm Roland Boyden, and this is 5:45 Live. Let's take a look at what's coming up on deck tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about that big Pee Wee win for the Pop Warner Generals. Hitting the Super Bowl, 7-town summary includes last night's Guilford controversy, and our esteemed Senator Patrick Leahy takes on the Republican-controlled House about the Women's Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act. All that and more. Remember, we do it in 15 minutes at least, we try. So some way, somehow. See if you've got the time and the attention span to stick with us.
And a wishbone backfield behind Tanner Bell as the quarterback. Bell gives it up to LaSure. He goes around the left end. Zeb. It's going to go. He gets the corner. Here he goes. 10-5. Touchdown, Generals. Zeb LaSure from 39 yards out.
Welcome back to this November 20th, 2012 edition, 5:45 Live. I'm Roland Boyden. That's a look at the Pop Warner Super Bowl, which included the Brattleboro Generals taking their second title in as many years. Again, it was a rematch of last year's Super Bowl, squaring off with the North County Panthers. Now a crushing defeat, really, 21-0 coming from the Generals. WTSA's Tim Johnson was there for the play-by-play, along with my good friend and dedicated videographer, Joe Bushy.
A turnover on a fumble by Ramos, recovered by LaSure, gave Brattleboro the ball at about the 26. Then beyond that, Brattleboro punted away, and Gaborio recovered the punt at about the 32 after it was touched by Cormier for North County. Brattleboro punches it in on a long run by LaSure. Then on the first play from scrimmage after the kickoff, Leaf Bigelow picks off an interception, and Brattleboro able to get inside the red zones.
This full game is about to go up on BCTV's Facebook page, where I expect it to go viral. What a great game to watch. It'll, of course, show on our Channel 8 public channel, the one you're watching right now, BCTV. You can find live broadcast times and the video on demand I am mentioning at BrattleboroTV.org. All right, let's move on and talk about our 7-town summary, and for that, why not get nice and close here for me. We'll start with the Guilford School Board vote at a special school board or really special town meeting held last night in Guilford, where the debate over the Guilford Middle School's future continued with a narrowly defeated motion to vote on whether or not the school's students would move to Brattleboro Area Middle School next year via Australian ballot this coming March. They're making the decision via Australian ballot, or so members thought, but as of now the vote is tentatively planned to take place during Guilford's March town meeting, and the defeat of the Australian ballot has caused some waves, certainly, such as school board chairman Don Sisto and Guilford resident Don McLean, who expressed concern particularly over the opportunity for everyone in Guilford to vote on the issue and the possibility of low turnout skewing the results. BCTV dedicated volunteer 5:45 Live correspondent Ian Keel was on the scene. Let's take a look.
I'm a little baffled by this right now, so I need to get a whole bunch more information before I...
Well, I don't want to be smart and cynical about this. The whole idea with the Australian ballot was to make sure that everybody in the town gets to vote on the issue.
Part of our 7-town summary, that's right, the B in BCTV stands for Brattleboro, but there are 7 other towns in the surrounding community that BCTV serves by getting all of their town meetings, and often special town meetings like that Guilford one as well. All of these meetings show on BCTV Channel 10, just 2 clicks up the dial, and are available to watch at your leisure, where you can kind of skip around place to place, which is a great feature with a 3-hour municipal meeting, all at our video on demand at BrattleboroTV.org. And we're going to keep talking a little bit about that 7-town summary by heading over to Newfane, where the talk was cell towers. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a second, because This is video we want to promote. It's live municipal coverage. This is, of course, what you think about when you think about community access, but it's been taken to a whole nother level with BCTV's latest move to hire a part-time employee to go out and cover municipal meetings, select board meetings from every one of those 7 towns, and the school board meetings from Leland and Gray, all that and more. Enough shameless promotion. Let's hit the script. Newfane residents are debating over a proposed cell phone tower, the tower which would be located on land leased from the William Florence Stats and built by AT&T would provide further cell phone coverage in Newfane. Further, an interesting word. I don't even know if you can say that you're furthering existing coverage in that area. But at present, 55% of the area would be addressed with this tower. Supporters of the tower argue that its presence would make the town safer in the wake of a landline failure during Tropical Storm Irene, while detractors argue that the tower proposed location is too close to the property lines and too high above the tree line. AT&T needs the State Public Service Board approval to put in this tower, and they're currently seeking a positive recommendation from the Select Board in Newfane. Plenty of controversy at their last regularly scheduled select board meeting. Let's take a gander.
It's very important for us, if the town is willing and if the Regional Planning Commission is willing, to provide a letter of recommendation, whether that be a...
So that's what you're asking?
That's really what we're asking you for today. Where the word Newfane is, I'm just showing it with my laser pointer. You'll see that that's basically the village. The site, which is on the Stats property off of Oak Hill Road, that's where our site will be. The tower itself, you can see here in this profile, is 130 feet tall.
That we do, in fact, have a park, which is the Newfane Town Forest, and it does, in fact, have a scenic vista, which is the lookout. Unfortunately, whether this impairs the view or not was never tested, and we can't tell right now 100% for sure whether it does or it doesn't. We would like to have a balloon test of that.
It's a safety issue for our town. It's a big safety issue.
You know, I have a 14-year-old son, and he said to me, how tall is this going to be? And I said, 130 feet. And he said, that's 13 stories. There's nothing in this area. In fact, in this whole area that I can think of, that is near that tall. What are the buildings in Brattleboro? 5 stories?
Readings that I've made is that cell towers within a few years even are going to become obsolete because digital technology is replacing it. My question based on that assumption is who's really making money from this and why are we choosing this technology as opposed to looking at other technologies that aren't as intrusive?
You can catch up on the decisions that will be made by following the Newfane Select Board. Again, BrattleBoroTV.org. We can watch their meetings in their entirety. All right, we'll move on and talk Patrick Leahy. We've been tracking the progress of the Vermont Senators' Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act, which passed the Senate over a year ago, but has since been suspended indefinitely by House Republicans who cite the wording of the bill, not its intent, as the reason for their opposition. Now, with time ticking down on the session, Leahy says passing the act, which funds services for victims of sexual and domestic violence, must be one of Washington's top priorities. We've got that clip for you as well.
But on VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, the time for posturing is long past. Congress has failed to pass the Bipartisan Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act. It passed the Senate with 68 votes, more than 200 days ago. We had to take it up and pass it in the House.
There we go. Leahy has also challenged Republicans to prove that their opposition is not a product of what he calls the GOP's pervasive sexism and gender discrimination. A few quick notes. As we're talking about politicians here, Peter Shumlin was in Springfield today to announce a program where an excess of potatoes generated from prison inmates will be used to feed hungry Vermonters this winter, something he calls as innovative as Vermont gets. Let's take a look.
Vermont taxpayers are spending a lot of dough. We're spending more on corrections now than we are on higher education for Vermont's kids. The question is, how do we pay back some of that resource to the taxpayers that are paying for their incarceration? And this is one way to do it.
All right, moving on. Project Feed the Thousands announced its annual kickoff this week on a mission to again raise $100,000 in 25 tractor-trailer trucks of food for donation. Now, there are bins at every grocery store around the area. Food donations are welcome. But, says project co-chair Kelly Corbeil, money sure works as well.
When people donate food, it's great. There's a big need for that, no question. But the money also, when someone donates money, lots of times Lucy or the food bank can get more food for that money than you could get if you just went to the grocery store and bought a couple cans. So the money just goes a long way to being able to purchase some more food.
All right, just a few seconds left to promote the upcoming Brattleboro Select Board meeting live. 2 clicks up the dial on Channel 10. I'll say goodnight, everybody. Thanks for checking in here on 545 Live. We sure enjoy your company as part of our live broadcast. Still plenty to come as the time ticks down here for us, but we'll make sure to get more footage for you. In the meantime, be sure to check out that Pee Wee football game and all those municipal meetings we've been hyping endlessly. All right, that's it. So, night, everybody.
Well, we'll do it just for old time's sake, just so they know how to have it done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the Brattleboro Generals have won the second last Division II Super Bowl as they rush the field. The Generals